Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday morning's Profit in Your PJs. I am so excited to be here. You guys all know I'm on a camp. We record this every single Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. We have people tuning in from all over the U.S. and multiple countries as well. It is being recorded. It's going up on my YouTube channel where you can definitely watch the replay and plug your team into that YouTube channel as well. So if you have not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the videos that we put up along the way. Last week's training, Patrick Tugwell, I want to give you a big shout out. Thank you so much for covering the Zoom. I heard you did an awesome job. I have not put that up on YouTube, but I will put that up today. So if anyone missed it or any of your teammates missed it, you can go back and hear that as well. So we are just back from the Bahamas. Wow, super wow. I see some of your faces on here. You are also as tan as I am. It was hot. It was amazing. But you guys, what an incredible trip. I want to just start this morning with a couple of quick announcements before I bring on our guest speaker. And I'm going to share my screen with you in order to do that. So let's see here. I am going to get that going here. There we go. Let me give you a full screen so you can see the whole thing. Quickly, just this week, don't forget to connect to our, it says Nerium Rhythm. Here, we got to change this, Neura Rhythm. Nerium or Neura University was last night. I'm not sure if they did it or not because I was in full swing of party mode in the Bahamas. But every single week we do that. And of course, you guys know today, the corporate update call at 3 p.m. Central Time is a must not miss. This company moves very quickly. All leaders are tuned into this, and you can always watch the replay if you miss it. Our social media boot camp, make sure that you go back and watch all of these trainings. They are absolutely incredible. And then of course, team, our edge call. And I did pop on the screen there, the actual dial-in number. So you guys might want to grab your pen real quick. Write down the dial-in number if you don't know it. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do I get on that call? And that's how you do it. Of course, you have to be an Edge subscriber in order to listen in, but it's awesome. And it's every single Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Central. So also this week, every Wednesday here in my local market, I do a market party every single Wednesday night. We're doing something different over the summer months. And so the last Wednesday of the month, we will be doing these live Zooms for your prospects. And this coming tomorrow, actually, I'm thrown off a day because we all got home last night. But Wednesday this week, June 26th, 4:30 and 7:30. And you guys, please make a note of this. This is Pacific time because I happen to be in Pacific time. We did this flyer in Pacific time. So just adjust accordingly. But this will give you pretty much in every time zone a time that's realistic to be able to plug in your prospects. So also wanted to, and the meeting ID there, you guys jot that down. I will put it up in Destination Success. I'll put this flyer up right away after the Zoom so you guys have access to it and you can get it out to your teams. But let's use this as a great way to deliver all this information and the good news of Neura on that Zoom. Nancy is an incredible presenter. She's living in Chicago and she's got a great story and she's going to just kill it. So make sure you get prospects on there. It's your time, guys. This is our we're in the last few days. We're in the last week of the month to go out and get your watch. Each one, reach one is the promotion we're in the middle of. A lot of people are earning the medal. Some of you have earned the watch. I can't give everybody's names, but I do know Heather Yarborough and Jenny Slappy both because I just saw them already have earned their watch. And I don't have the list today, but we will be recognizing everybody who's earned their watch and also their medal as well. Earn your spot in the sand, guys. You have to be there. And Damon Rourke is our guest speaker today. He is going to be talking as well as I am about what happened on this trip at the Bahamas and why you need to get to Cabo and really how to close the month out strong. But I want to show you a couple quick highlights and tell you a very quick story before I bring him on here. So about a year and a half ago, I did a Zoom and I was thinking, how do I how do I let you guys inside of the brain of On a Camp, and how do I show you guys the kinds of things that I'm dreaming about? And I did a whole dream vision, dream board, places around the world and how great it would be to go to these places. And I pulled all of these great pictures off of the internet, and I had Googled images of the greatest places in the world, most exotic places in the world, and places to go. And so I did this, and I had done this whole slideshow. It's on my YouTube channel somewhere. But I had personally, it was really a super fun exercise for me because I got to look at amazing places. And some of the pictures that I saw, literally, I did not even know where they were. And one of the pictures that I shared on that video now a year and a half ago was one that I want to talk about really quickly before I bring Damon on, because this was a big deal for me. So most of you know, I totally believe in vision boards. I have a list of places I want to visit. I love to travel. I love to be able to take people with me. I love fun incentive trips where we can all go together places. But I had come across this picture, and I'm going to put it up here and show it to you guys. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but this was the picture. And I actually looked it up, and I found out that the pigs, the only place in the world where pigs actually live on an island and they actually swim in the ocean, was Big Major Cay, and it's one of over 365 islands in Exuma, a district of the Bahamas. And so here we are, guys, only a couple years later, or actually a year and a half later, after I put that picture up on my vision board, I got to go out and do that. And it was something I've always had. I thought, that is the craziest thing. Pigs actually live, on an island. Pigs actually swim in the ocean. That is just so bizarre to me, but I got to do that. And so here are some of those pictures I wanted to share with you real quick. But the pigs really do exist, and this was a really fun excursion where we got to go out, and we stopped at, it was all day. We got on the boat at 7 in the morning. It was a speedboat. We sped through all of these islands, literally Louis Vuitton's island we passed by. We passed by Johnny Depp's island. Oh, you guys, it was really something. And I was able to do this with some of my Miura friends, and it was an experience really for me of a lifetime. We stopped at one island. We got to swim with the sharks. We got to actually play with the pigs. You can actually hold food up and say sit, and they sit for you. Believe it or not, there are really big ones there, and you can actually kind of ride them, like if you kind of get on their back as they're swimming, they actually let you. It's crazy. I don't have a picture here, but I got to hold a baby pig. Teresa Walbrink and I have this thing for baby pigs, and it was really, really a special thing to do. But you guys, look at the water. There were some pool shots here. You guys have probably seen the pictures all over, but this was a trip to remember. And you guys, I want you to see these pictures because I want you to see not only what we experienced, but I want you to see yourself here. I want you guys to have these pictures of Cabo coming up on your vision board. I want you to be part of that. And I want you to come with us because every single person, even if you're brand new today, can earn this trip. I chose this picture just because of the water. And you see that island out there. This was an island right off of our resort, and it was free to jump in this boat and go over to this island. There was a bar, music going, all of these beautiful lounge chairs set out, big white sandy beach, so much fun. Of course, it wouldn't be the same without our picture, all of us in our white t-shirts with the logo on there. But this is it's a special time because for those of you that have never been on one of our trips, there's always one morning. It's usually the second morning of the trip, but we all got together from 10 to 12 in the morning, and we got to hear Bo and Amber and Jeff Olson and Deb Hayes and Brad Wayman all talk about the vision of where we're going and talk about some things that are coming that are new. And we get to have those special announcements ahead of everybody else. And it really is a time to come together. But the relationships that you build here are invaluable. I can go on and on and on and do my own little training just today on making sure that you get to Cabo, but I do want to end with this one last slide before I bring Damon on. And this was something that got started with just 10 people on the beach coming together on a Sunday morning and praying, and really praying for each other and praying for the health of the company, and really bonding. And to see that is so incredibly special. But that grew to, a bigger group, and eventually grew last year to a group on the sand that got so big by, of course, you guessed it, word of mouth, everybody telling everybody, hey, we're all going to go down and pray on the beach together. And it became so big that nobody could hear. And I have to give a special shout out and thanks to Randa Carlisle for really kind of putting this together. And she last year asked Bo if he would just say a few words, and Bo really got up there and preached in a way that I can't even, I get goosebumps even talking about it and thinking about it. But this year we had a podium and a microphone, and we came together under the shade of this cabana outside by the pool. And look how big it had grown. We couldn't even fit. You can't see even the right side of this picture, but we barely could even fit in there. But it was so beautiful and so eloquent and so heartfelt. And it didn't really matter what religion you come from or who you are or what your beliefs are. It was an amazing spiritual time to all be together. So for me, this was one of the biggest highlights of my trip, and I wanted to make sure and share it with you guys. So I want to stop now, and I want to really want to bring on a person that I just adore in this business. This is somebody that I really care very deeply about, somebody that I've gotten to know. This is somebody that has, there we go. Somebody that I've gotten to know, somebody that I never would have known. Actually, he has the funniest sense of humor. You guys all know him. Damon Rourke is leading a huge team. I can't think of any better leader than to come on today and just give us some tips on closing out the month, maybe some of his thoughts about the Bahamas. And without further ado, Damon, if you could unmute your phone and pop on here with us this morning, that would be great. I know I saw you on here.
Yes, absolutely. Anna, thank you so much for having me on, and good morning to everyone. Anna, thank you for doing this call. I see several people that I work with on my team that jump on here and just get so much value, and to have a leader, a person like you being willing, not worried about downline, not worried about my team. I'm only going to do this for me, but just being so open to helping people. And it's one of the biggest things that I've learned from you is the downline doesn't matter, right? That we are a team Neora. We are here to help each other. We're here to help people, and that's our business. And the whole downline thing doesn't matter. It'll all come back to you. But thank you for being so consistent and just so awesome. And I can't believe the view behind you right now. That is incredible. That is great. Thanks for sharing that as well. And so before I get into actually closing out the month, and I do have a little training that I want to do. I'm going to do some screen shares and kind of walk you guys through this. But I do have to echo what Anna was saying about the Bahamas and just the trip in general. I can tell you guys, so I don't know how many trips we've been on this far. It's over 12. And then we've even had some personal trips that we go and take and get to hang out, or even just little trainings. Like before we launched the new comp plan, all the 3 stars and above came into, or a select group, I guess, came into Dallas. And even that, just hanging out with each other, I think is what I remember, because I don't remember how the meetings went. I don't remember what was talked about. I remember who I got to spend time with. And the same thing with the Bahamas. In 5 years, I won't remember the food at the hotel, even though it was awesome, or the resort. I won't remember the bed or how hard or how soft it was. I won't remember that. I will remember how grateful I was to go to sleep early a few nights instead of staying up very, very late, like some of you may be wearing eye patches right now. But I will remember. I will remember the people. I will never forget this past trip. I'm so grateful. We switched the trip from, it used to be a national marketing director trip, or it used to be a certain level, a certain rank to hit. And now they've changed it to where anybody can earn it. I mean, we heard stories of people that earned it in a week. We have people that hadn't been in the business for 6 months, and they came in and earned the trip. And if you've been in the business longer than 6 months and you really wanted to earn this last trip to the Bahamas, don't look at it. Don't take the stories. Don't take the good success stories and convert them into a negative scenario about yourself and why you can't earn it. Use it as further evidence about why you can't do this, because you this motivation. There was nothing special about people that were on that trip. There was nothing special besides they made a decision and they went after it. And that's what we're going to, I want to end with that today. I made a spreadsheet that kind of lays out where you want to be as far as trip volume goes, ending June, ending July, and really be on track to making that trip. I think it's going to surprise a lot of you guys, but the big thing right now is really focusing on Cabo. And I ran into some people that are like, well, I've been to Cabo. I have a large Mexican team, and they're like, we've been to Cabo. It's $100 flight to go to Cabo, and we know where to stay at the hotels that are $20 a night. We can go to Cabo, but you can't go to Cabo like we go to Cabo, right? You can't. First of all, and this is I was thinking about this, and this is post kids, right? This is post having kids, pre having kids. I don't know that I would have said this, but post having kids, I'm not going to take a vacation like we just took a vacation. I'm not going to spend the kind of money like we spend to have that kind of vacation. Pre-kids, different story. Post-kids, I'm a little more financially responsible, thank God. But I wouldn't take a vacation like we take a vacation. I wouldn't spend the money. And I think more importantly, you wouldn't hang out with the people like you get to hang out with if you just went to Cabo by yourself, right? If you just went to the Bahamas, you're not hanging out with a group of people there. It's funny, there was two people that were on the trip outside of New York. They were on their names were Cole and Taylor, and they were on their honeymoon, and they got married. They were a young, really cute couple. They were around all the time, and anybody that talked to them, they were so open to talking. And you can imagine, there's a lot of people around them that if they're not in New York, like there's a lot of people that want to talk to them and just connect. And everybody just thought they were everybody just thought they were already in the business because they're walking around, they're hanging out, they're talking to everybody. But you look at them, they're like, this is the coolest group of people. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been on vacation for 10 days, right? Or hung out with your spouse for just 10 days. And it probably sounds like an awesome idea when you're going into it. And then you get to day 3 and you're like, so it's still just us. Like we're still just hanging out, just us, which is cool. I would love to hang out with Amber for 10 days, but I think at a certain point you need more human interaction, right? You want to get out there, you want to have those relationships. And then you start making vacation friends. I don't know if you guys have ever made vacation friends where you get their Facebook, you get their email, you get their phone number. Like, we are going to be best friends. Let's take this trip on an annual basis. We'll always meet up here. This is awesome. This is great. We're always going to do this. And then, a month later, you're not even answering each other's emails anymore. Right? They're sending you messages. They're not even liking the pictures that you post with them in it anymore and tag them, right? But it's the people on this trip, the people that make up this company. That's what makes this so special. And with Anna showing that prayer service that we had, I still get emotional about it because I remember when it was 10 people, and then when we were in Puerto Vallarta, we had lined something up, and we didn't. I guess we did the best we could getting the word out. It was like 20 people showed up, but a lot more people wanted to come. They just didn't know about it. And then so when we posted pictures online, they're like, well, let's do another one. The problem was we had a pastor that left. The pastor that did the service left. And so we had another pastor step up, and it was just incredible. We went from like 20 to 100 in one day. And I think, but the cooler thing for me, guys, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief is, that's your thing. And that's why I love this group of people, because no matter what your beliefs are, your faith is, I want to work with a group of people that are confident enough to believe in themselves and believe in their values and believe in who they are, and they know who they want to be. That's motivating me to go on vacation and be around of a group of people like that are so focused and hardworking, and they're not just sitting around complaining about what's wrong, but they're actually out there doing something that they believe in and working towards something more. That's what's so inspiring, I think, about Neora and about this family that we are continuing to build together. And so absolutely, let's go after Cabo, and going after Cabo starts now. If you miss the Bahamas, I guarantee if you look at your activity, if you look at your progress, and you were really gunning for it, and you wanted it the entire time, right? I'm not saying you didn't work for it. I'm saying you wanted it the entire time. If we go back to month 2, 3, or 4 and look at your production, it went down. I mean, that's almost standard. We can look at what you were doing, and at some point, your production went down during that qualification period. And for those that made it, your production didn't go down, or when your production did go down, you made a choice directly after that to work so hard to get back on track. That I mean, it's because it's not that you didn't want it, and it's not that you don't have the ability. It's at some certain point we weren't consistent enough, and you know, that consistency can waver. Life can get in the way, or not in the way. Life happens, right? Life will happen, and that will mess with your focus, and it just gets you off track. Or maybe you didn't have the skill sets developed enough for who you are, and now you do. Right, to make that trip. And so it doesn't matter why you weren't in the Bahamas. Let's get to Cabo, because the main point is anybody can qualify for Cabo. Anybody can qualify for Cabo. Anybody if you're listening to this right now and you're hearing me, anybody can qualify for this trip. I mean, when you also look at, we had people from one of the biggest things for me, somebody on my team I got to sit down with had well over the qualification amount, but she's from this tiny little town in Mexico, right? I mean, it's just that she's a lawyer. She's very, very busy. She has 7 kids. She is a couple grandkids, and they all live in the same small town. And she qualified for this trip, and she qualified before the trip happened. And so I take her for example, and you know, you look at the income level of the people around her. It's going to be poor. In Mexico, it's only 4% of the population makes more than $600 a month. Okay. So you take the fact that nobody you know has money off the table. People are spending money on skincare. People want business opportunity. People are looking for something like this. We just have to get it in front of them. Right. And so you take all these factors with those stories, it just takes every excuse off the table. And it's just, let's get to work now. Let's come up with a very simple plan now. And so with closing out the month, closing out this month will lead into a strong July. So my goal for you guys, even if you haven't done anything, or you don't feel like you've done enough, or you don't feel like you're where you're at right now, we still have time in June to close this month out. That's going to lead to momentum in July, and that's going to lead to momentum in August and September and October and November. And the funny thing about the summer times, because we'll talk to different people, and after 8 years, I've talked to enough people where they say it slows down in the summertime. And it's funny because I bet about half those people look back and they say, well, last year my biggest month was August, but you know, August is a tough month. But last year, August was my biggest month, or July was my biggest month, but it's usually a tough month. It's never a tough month. People want to look better and feel better all the time. That's just, people want more money all the time. People are looking for freedom all of the time. People want this all of the time. We just have to go find them, and then we put it in front of them. And it might not be the right time for them, but if it's not the right time for them, it's going to be the right time for somebody else. People are looking for this. So, and if you're a leader on this call, and then we're going to get into, I broke down closing out the month. I've tried to break down the closing out the month into some very, very, very simple steps. And so if you're a leader on here, okay, if you're a leader, if you have, and by leader, all of you guys are leaders, have leadership skills because you made the correct choice to jump on this Zoom this morning, and hopefully you continue to do that. And the YouTube, Anna's just kind enough to post all these videos on YouTube. On YouTube, if you watch one of her videos, like it and put a comment up there about your key takeaway. One, it lets her know that the content that helps, so the content that she can duplicate and focus on later that's actually helping people. And then the like and the comment both help in the algorithm so more people can see that, which it's a way of just giving back. Right? Because it takes a lot to record this. It takes a lot to edit this. It takes a lot to upload this. It takes a lot to plan this out. It's almost like a way of saying thank you, of going and putting a like and a comment on that YouTube, and even share it with your team, share those links with your team. It's just, for me, it's very useful for the team to use, but it's also just a way of saying, hey, Anna, thank you so much. This is what we like. Please, 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 please continue to do that, because I bet I've had 20 people tell me that they jump on this call. And I mean 20 different people at some point over the last 8 months. People have told me that they jump on this call. And then I went on the YouTube channel a few months ago, And I'm just watching. I'm like, this is incredible. This is great training. Like I'm so grateful for this. And then I went to like and comment some of the stuff that I was looking at, and it'd be like 2 likes and 4 comments. I had more people tell me about the videos by word of mouth than actually went on and liked and commented. But, and that's fine. It's just, I don't think you're, I look at it as a way of just saying, thank you so much for doing this. And so if you guys can do that as you go on and watch these recaps and watch these videos. So closing out the month, we're going to look at 6 different things. Okay, 6 different things. So I'm going to go through these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to dive back into them. And I'm actually going to log into a dummy account and give you guys an example of that. Anna, that's okay if I use the dummy account and share the screen, right? Okay, good. Okay, so number 1 is going to be PPC bonus. Okay, the PPC tracker, the personal preferred customer bonus. Number 2 is going to be TPC, team preferred customer bonus, TPC. Number 3 is going to be personal sales commissions. So personal sales commissions, PSC. Number 4 is going to be your rank. Number 5 is trip volume, TV or trip volume. That's for Cabo. Number 6 will be activity. So number 6 will be our plan. And very quickly again, number 1, PPC. Number 2, TPC. Number 3, personal sales commissions or PSC. Number 4 is rank. Number 5 is trip volume. Number 6 will be your activity. Okay, so number 1 is your PPC bonus. And if you are a leader on here, if you have other people on your team that you're working with to try and help close out the month, you look at yourself first. You look at your volume first. You look at your back office first. This is closing out the month has so much to do with you and so much to do with the team as well. But you have to understand you are an important factor in there. Okay, this is not just a training that you take and automatically take these notes and then go do your own Zoom or your own live to make sure you get the word out to your team. This is something that you do first. You look at your own things first, and then you take it and communicate that to the team. Okay, but don't stop telling people what to do and just go out there and be the example first, and then help them do it or do it with them. Okay, so number 1 is our PPC. Personal PC bonus, and we do a screen share. Okay, so I am logged into the Minnie Mouse account. So the Minnie Mouse account, and this is your leadership dashboard. So when you log in, you can just go to the leadership dashboard. The first place that you want to look for this, I just think it's useful, is the personal PC bonus. So the personal PC bonus here at the top right-hand corner, you want to see how many customers you have. This top one is PC 55. This is our 369, and then it's our PC PQV, the achievement thing. And then it has it has the bonus down here. So I think these are all really big. Again, you want to log in and look at this just so you know where you're at. Because I work with too many people. I will talk to too many people, which will probably be 2 or 3 on July 1st, that when we go back and look at how many customers they have for June, it'll be like 8, right? It'll be like they had 8 customers and they missed a bonus by a little bit. And we're going to look at what those bonuses are. We're going to look at what those bonuses are. So actually, I'm going to do a complete screen share so you guys can see this. If you look at the bonus, if you look at the personal PC, look at the personal PC bonus. I know it's going fast. I'm going to show you guys where the bonuses are. All right, personal PC bonuses. So if we look at 3 customers, 6 customers, and 9 customers, if somebody has 8 customers, oh geez, I'm sorry guys. Australian comp plan. That's not what we're looking for. US comp plan. If you look at the 3, 6, and 9, you're looking at a $50 bonus when you have 6 customers. You're looking at a $150 bonus when you have 9 customers. If somebody has 8 customers, they get a $50 bonus. With one more customer, they would have got a $150 bonus. So these are really why it's important to look at and just be aware of, because people are missing out on money because there's so much money at a smaller level in this compensation plan. But this is how you hit those next ranks. So number 1, PPC. We're going to look at that. Number 2, we're going to look at is TPC. This is your team PC bonus. Majority of people are going for level 1 and level 2. Okay, level 1 and level 2. Now the difference. Let's look at the difference that we have with these bonuses. So in the United States, the team PC bonus. If you have 6 personal customers and you have 3 personally sponsored BPs that qualify for 3-year free, you're looking at a $200 bonus. That means that if you have 6 personal customers and you have 2 brand partners with 3-year free and another personally sponsored brand partner with 2 active customers, you are 1 PC away from a $200 bonus. If one person goes out and spends $55, you get a $200 bonus. Okay. And again, I mean, we can get very extreme with these bonuses. Same thing with level 2. If you have 9 personal customers and you help 3 people get to their PPC bonus, right? If they get their PPC bonus, you could miss $500 by one preferred customer on one person's team. I mean, you are talking about crazy amounts of money that adds up very quickly, because this is just one piece of the compensation plan. So you want to know where your team PC bonus is. The next one we're looking at is personal sales commission, and this is a very, very big one. Even though this isn't a great example down here. So bottom left-hand corner, if you haven't looked at this yet, look at it today, right? In the next hour after we get off this call, go and look at it. So if you look at this, when you sell between $300 and $1,500 in personal sales commission, so these are your personal customers, you're making 5%, $1,500 to $3,000. You're making 10%, over $3,000, you're making 15%. Now, you guys stay with me real quick. If you look, my team ADOs, the average PC ADO value on this team this month is $240. For sake of my math, we're just going to say $200. If you're at $2,800, if you do $2,800 in sales, you're looking at 10% commission. You're looking at $280 in commission, right? If you were to add one customer, you go up to 3,000 in sales. You go over 3,000 in sales. You're looking at $450 in sales. In commission. You go from 280 to 450 very quickly. We have a lot of people that are very close to 5, 10, and 15% commission, but they don't know they're there unless you're looking at the numbers. They just don't know they're there and don't realize that if one customer, they might say $200 away, but on this team, anywhere from $100 to $200, that's what the average PC is. And so you want to look at these numbers, because we have people, and it could be you could have missed the past few months. You could have missed out on hundreds of dollars in commission by adding one customer, but just because we were unaware of what that looks like. Okay, next one is rank. And the reason, guys, I know it doesn't follow the square order, but the reason I look at PPC, TPC, and personal sales commissions first is because those all add to the rank advancements. That's how you add to that rank advancement. With the rank advancement, I just want you to be aware of where you're at and what it takes to hit the next level. And so you can look at what it takes to hit the next level. Minnie Mouse is going to be very close in LQV to hitting the National Marketing Director, LQV. And then for the GQV, she's a little bit farther away, but definitely we can come up with a plan for July to get her there by doubling her business. Okay. And then the next one we want to look at, of course, is the trip volume. So the incentive trip right here, and really just to be aware of what the incentive trip volume is, of where you're at, 20,000 and 23,000 for level 1 and 2. And I want to show you guys right now this spreadsheet that I put together. Okay, let me try to make this bigger, and I can send this to you If you guys wanted, I'm trying to make this a little bigger without messing everything up. All right. So with the, what this is, guys, and again, this is just an example. If you can see it, if you can't see it, I apologize. And again, I can send it out. But if you sign up a May BP and then they maintain their ADO, 2 June BPs, 1 July BP, 2 August BPs, 2 new BPs in September, 2 new BPs in October, 1 new BP in November, and help them maintain their ADOs. And then also PCs. So some PCs at different points. And then with your personal ADO Edge, 6 months of PPC plus, 9 customers, Power 5, every 5 BPs that you get. This is your cumulative monthly trip volume. So in this situation, at the end of July, if you're on track to make the trip, you have 4,360 trip volume points. Okay. At the end of June, 2,670 points. Again, this is really kind of that slide edge philosophy as well, because if you look at when you're over halfway through, when you're 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end of August, you're 4 months into the promotion. You're not even halfway to the trip volume that you're going for. Okay. So with just 3 months left, you're really just over halfway of what you're going for, but you're going to make that up in the end. So again, I can send this to you guys, but I think the bigger thing that I want you to take away from this, the bigger thing I want you to take away from that is that it's absolutely possible for you to qualify for this trip no matter where you're at. Because I talked to a lot of people about Cabo while we were in the Bahamas, and they say, oh, I'm only at 5,000 of trip volume points. You're well ahead of where you should be. That doesn't mean rest on your laurels and stop working. That means keep going because you're doing a good job. And if you're sitting at 1,000 trip volume points or 1,500 trip volume points or 500 trip volume points, your goal by the end of this month is to get that up to 2,000 because you can catch up. You can absolutely catch up with wherever you're at. So you want to look at the PPC, TPC, personal sales commission, rank, trip volume, and then our activity. The activity is where the rubber meets the road. It's like anything else that we have, right? It's like reading this book, right? It looks great on my desk. It looks fantastic in Zooms when I can reach right behind me and go, boom, the slide edge. I'm a leader. I got the slide edge right here on my desk, right? But until I actually take the slide edge philosophy and put it into action, it is literally a cool prop or a good paperweight. That is it. Just like any other piece of information or book or whatever out there, it is only as good as the activity that you put behind it. So we want to take very simple activity this month. If you have a plan, if you've worked with your upline leader or your workout partner, whoever, on coming up with a plan to close out this month, follow that plan. You have a plan that you agreed to, follow that plan. If you don't have a plan, let's keep it very simple. And first of all, let's admit something to ourselves. There is a difference between you and other people. Right? I know it's easy to say, and the difference is, and we think about our differences, and many times when we think about differences, we think about our weaknesses. Right? We don't think about our strengths. Our weaknesses are so much easier to admit than our strengths. And it was funny because we were sitting in the training that Anna was talking about that we had, and Amber gets up and says, statistically, if you're sitting in this room, you're in the top 1% of the company. Okay, the top 1% of the company. Jeff Olson gets up and says, really, if you're in this room, you're in the top like 0.3% of the company. You're not even the top 1%. You're in the 0.3%, and you're definitely in the top 1% of the industry. When they say those things, there's either there's one of two things going on. One, they're liars, or two, they're telling the truth. Whatever you think, that's fine. That's how you think. But I know Amber fairly well. I know Jeff fairly well. They're not liars. And so the only other option would be that they're telling the truth. Okay, so they're telling the truth. And so that same thing goes here. Either when Anna says you can make this trip, she's either a liar or she's telling the truth. Right? At some point, you have to believe that she's talking to you and not just talking to every other person on this Zoom. Because there was too many people in the room. We did a team meeting afterwards, and we had a little conversation of it just hit me while I was sitting there, because when Jeff gets up and says, you're the top 1%, how many people look around and say, man, what a blessing to be around the top 1%. How incredible is it that I get to be in this room with the top 1%? I can't believe there's so many 1%ers around me. That's incredible. I would love to be a 1%er. I'm just blessed to be in the room with these people that are a 1%, that work so hard to get here. I'm not in there, of course. I'm not a part of that 1%, but what a blessing to be around these incredible people. At some point, you have to look at what you're doing, and you have to listen to people that are experts in what they're saying, and realize that they're telling the truth, and they're not talking to the other people on the Zoom. You are the one that we're talking to. We're talking to you. We're talking to the person that woke up early on a Tuesday morning, that took time out of their schedule, that took time out of their day, that took time out of their vacation, that took time out of their responsibilities to jump on a Zoom like this, or watch a video like this later, make time to watch it later, and realize that you're it. You are this company. You are Neora. If without you, Jeff Olson wouldn't be Jeff Olson. Jeff Olson wouldn't have a company. We wouldn't have Neora if you weren't here. And so at some point, you have to accept the praises that are being put upon you as truth. It's not just things to make you feel good, to go have an excellent Tuesday. It's things that you have to accept, because people that have been in your situation, that have worked with thousands of people that are in your situation, are saying you can make this trip. You can do anything that you want to do with this business. It just takes a choice. And so when we're coming up with this plan, again, this isn't something you just take and translate to your team because you have so many great team members. You take it because you are a person that made a choice about you and your future and your dreams, even by signing up to this business. You guys realize how many people are just scared of doing something? How many people would rather, our Uber driver yesterday that picked us up at the airport and took us home. She works 18 hours a day. She's a carpenter and drives Uber. She doesn't, and of course, she knows about Neora, but how many people are making that choice just because they don't know this is out there? I really think just because we know about this, I think it's our responsibility to go tell people about this, and just so they can have options. Bo told a great story about how with this business, he just wanted to have options to disagree with his boss. He said, I really like my boss, but I really disagreed with some of the things that he said sometimes. And I just wanted to have the option, the freedom to disagree with him and not worry about my next worrying about getting fired. Right? We have the answer here for people's freedom. And so when we're coming up with this activity, what we want to do with this activity, I want you to make a list of 10 people. Just make a list of 10 people that you want either as a customer or on your team. Okay, and I think we can stop dancing around the fact that we don't want people on our team. Guys, we want people on our team. We want people to join this business. We want people that want to do it, but we also want certain people. Write down, whether it's your chicken list or your dream list or your future brand partner list, however you want to frame it, write down a list of 10 people that you want on your team, 10 names. And then today, send messages to those people and try to talk to them. Try to set up dinner, try to set up lunch, try to set up brunch, try to set up drinks, try to set up coffee. Call them and send them a text and say, hey, I miss talking to you. If there's not someplace you can meet up, I miss talking to you. Like, what's your schedule like? I just want to connect with you for like 20 minutes. Not about Neora. I just catch up with some friends or build some new relationships. Be more interested in what they have going on in their life than what you have going on in your life, and build that relationship. I'm not telling you to go sign these people up. We're not going to do some hardcore close. We're not going to get them all on a group call, right? This is you building your business, because what's going to happen if you're over the age of 18, what you've realized is that you have friends that are very, very busy, and you are probably a person that is very, very busy. And if you try to go meet up with 10 people this week, hopefully you meet up with 2. And hopefully you meet up with 10 in the next year. My best friends in the entire world, I see like once a year, or not anymore, thankfully in Neora. But you think about your great friends from high school, your great friends from college, or your younger years, your pre-family years, or your pre-job years, or pre-moving out of where you grew up years. You talk to, I talk to my friends once a year, and we're like best friends. Like, man, it's so good catching up. Talk to you next year. Hope it goes well. Have a great next 64 days. Guys, people are busy, but what you're doing is you're starting the conversation, and we're doing something that, first of all, you're setting out and doing something that you said you would do. Contact 10 people, try to set up meetings, try to set up conversations. And then when you do meet with them, will come up. If they're not interested, ask them for referrals. Do you know anybody that would be interested? Because I think it's the funniest thing in the world. Somebody that's not interested always knows 3 people that would be great at this. Like, do you realize, that would just be, you would make a couple $100 just by referring those people in. Like, that's it. You would make that. But if they don't want to do it, who cares? Let's reach out to the people that they have there. So, but I think that one of the most important things, make a list of 10 people. And if you have 10 people in your head, or you have 10 people on little scraps of paper, like, here's my prospecting list. Right? This is everybody that I want to meet up with. Right? This is, I keep this with me so that when I have a free second, or if I need to go meet with somebody, or if I have an appointment that cancels, I'm not sitting around wondering what to do. I can text somebody and say, hey, let's grab coffee. Let's set up let's meet up next month. Let's meet up in 2 months. Let's try and do something when summer's over, when you get back in town. If you have people that you want on your team, guys, write them down in one place. And then the last thing I am going to ask you to do, schedule a real results party. It's never been, I think every day I get more and more evidence that real results parties work. I mean, they just work. When I think back to, when I was running for national marketing director, and I mean, really, really, really running for national marketing director, I wanted to hit it before our first conference. I realized it was possible when I hit my Lexus bonus. And I mean, look back, I was probably doing 1 to 2 of my own personal results parties at my house a month. And then I was doing 4 or 5 real results parties a week. And it took me, and it was 9 months to hit national marketing director. And I go back and I look at people that have grown significantly over time, and they were based around real results parties. And if any business ever slowed down, it was because of real results parties, because of lack of real results parties. You can't tell me they don't work. I've been to too many. I've worked with too many people. I've talked to Anna too many times about real results parties, right? I've looked people in the eye that I trust, that I believe in, that I know actually like have love for me, that they actually care about me as a human, not being right as a leader, not trying to make themselves look better or trying to seem like an expert. They're actually experts that care about other people, that look me in the eye and say it's real results parties, right? Based off experience, based off wins and failures, right? Based off growth. We keep coming back to real results parties. And if you left real results parties or never came to real results parties, guys, maybe this is your wake-up call. Real results parties work. So I would put a list of 10 names down, schedule a real results party for this week. Do it before the close, right? Do it before the close of the month. I don't care how many people show up to your real results party, because I know if you have a real results party and nobody shows up, have another one. And you're going to get better at inviting. You're going to get better at inviting more people. You're going to get better at the process. But we can't just say real results parties don't work because I had one and nobody showed up, or I had 2, or I had a few years ago and didn't work, right? What if Jeff said that about this business? It wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense that if Jeff stopped doing events, if Jeff stopped doing the Slide Edge, if he stopped doing the 10 core 20 years ago, none of us would even be talking right now. We wouldn't have the fastest growing company. You learn from your failures. You learn from your growth opportunities. So with that, I hope this was helpful. I'm definitely open. If any of you guys make any tweaks to that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, please reach out to me and let me know. We've only been working with this comp plan for like 5 months. I think it's our 5th or 6th close. If you guys make any tweaks, maybe that might be what I start training on next month. And I love to learn from other people. So if I missed anything, if I have any tweaks, my ego is not wrapped up in being an expert in the comp plan after 6 months, or even being an expert in anything besides trying to help people and be the best version of myself. That's really, that's what I'm wrapped up in. And so I'm always open to growth. If you guys have any suggestions, please, please, please. There's a lot of people I'm seeing on here that I really, really do respect. But Anna, thank you again for having me on. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being incredible and amazing. And I can't wait till the next time we hang out. But with that, you guys, thank you so much for your time. Have a great, great day.
Damon, you are extraordinary. Thank you so much. I loved every single bit of your training. I love the 6 steps that you had there. And, you know, I know that you probably encountered this while you were in the Bahamas. I talked to a lot of people, but I talked to at least a half a dozen people who earned the trip with 0 brand partners. Unbelievable. And so you guys, I want to encourage every single person, if you don't even have a brand partner today, doesn't matter. You can still earn the trip. You can do it a lot faster with more brand partners. Definitely. So just a big special thank you, a big hug, Damon. I so appreciate you. You guys, let's close the week strong. Please reach out, reach up. I have time this week. My calendar is clear. I am personally prospecting. I'm personally signing up customers, and I am personally going to work to help each and every one of you do the same. So have a great week in all that you do. Show up and be fabulous. See you next week, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye,
Thanks,
Anna.
everybody.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Anna.
Thank you
Great
so
job.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
Damon.
you so much,
Thanks,
Damon.
Anna. Thanks, Damon.
Damon.
Great job.
Fantastic.
Damon.
Rocked it, boo.
Thank you.
Great fun. Thanks, David.